Thabo Bester, a name that sends chills down the spines of South Africans. He is infamous for his audacious scams and ruthless crimes, leaving a trail of victims in his wake. Bester's journey into a life of crime began at a young age, in the rough neighborhoods where he grew up. Little is known about his childhood, but it is believed that he was raised by his grandmother, who struggled to provide for him. Bester dropped out of school in grade 7, already displaying a disregard for conventional paths and authority. He embarked on a life of petty crime, starting with minor thefts and shoplifting. His initial forays into the criminal underworld involved scams and theft, honing his skills in deception. Bester possessed a natural charisma that would become his trademark, allowing him to easily win people over. He could charm and manipulate people with ease, making them believe in his fabricated stories. This skill allowed him to gain the trust of his victims before defrauding them, leaving them devastated. As Bester grew bolder, his crimes escalated in severity, becoming more daring and dangerous. He began targeting women, using his charm and good looks to lure them into his web of deceit, promising them the world. Bester would often promise them modeling contracts or other lucrative opportunities, which were nothing but illusions. These early crimes hinted at a dangerous pattern, one that would only grow more sinister over time. Bester was a master manipulator, a cunning individual who was willing to exploit anyone to achieve his goals, no matter the cost. These early experiences would shape him into one of South Africa's most notorious criminals, feared and reviled by many. Thabo Bester's notoriety reached new heights as he adopted the moniker Facebook Rapist, a name that would become synonymous with fear and deception. This chilling title reflected his modus operandi, using social media to prey on unsuspecting women, exploiting the trust and openness that these platforms often foster. Bester targeted aspiring models, exploiting their dreams of fame and fortune. He knew exactly how to manipulate their aspirations to his advantage. He created fake profiles on Facebook, posing as a representative from a reputable modeling agency, complete with convincing details and professional-looking photos. Bester would contact young women, promising them lucrative contracts and opportunities to travel the world, painting a picture of a glamorous lifestyle that was hard to resist. Many fell for his lies, blinded by the allure of a glamorous career. They were drawn in by the hope of achieving their dreams. Bester would arrange meetings with his victims, often in public places, to gain their trust before leading them to more secluded locations. He would then rape and rob them, leaving them physically and emotionally scarred. The trauma inflicted was profound and long-lasting. The Facebook Rapist case sent shockwaves through South Africa, bringing to light the dark side of social media and the vulnerabilities it can expose. It highlighted the dangers of social media and the lengths to which predators would go to exploit others, using technology as a tool for their malicious intents. Bester's crimes were not limited to online spaces. He was a predator both in the digital world and in real life. He was also linked to several rapes and robberies in and around Johannesburg, making him a notorious figure in the region. His victims were often left traumatized, their lives forever changed by his actions. The emotional scars ran deep, affecting their sense of safety and trust. In 2011, Thabo Bester committed a crime that would seal his fate forever. He brutally murdered his then-girlfriend, Nomfundo Tihulu, in a shocking act of violence. Bester stabbed her multiple times in a hotel room in Cape Town, leaving a gruesome scene behind. He then fled the scene, leaving behind a trail of blood and a devastated family, forever scarred by his actions. The murder of Nomfundo Tihulu sent shockwaves through South Africa, igniting public outrage and sorrow. Bester, already infamous as the Facebook Rapist, was now a wanted murderer, his notoriety reaching new heights. The police launched a nationwide manhunt, determined to capture him and bring him to justice. They were relentless in their pursuit, scouring every possible hideout and following every lead. Bester managed to evade capture for several months, living on the run and constantly looking over his shoulder. However, his luck eventually ran out when he was finally apprehended. He was apprehended in 2012 while hiding out in Namibia, far from his home country. Bester was extradited back to South Africa to face trial for his heinous crimes, including murder, rape, robbery, and fraud. In 2012, Thabo Bester was sentenced to life imprisonment, a verdict that many felt was long overdue. It seemed that justice had finally been served, bringing some measure of closure to the grieving family. the notorious criminal was behind bars, seemingly ending his reign of terror and bringing relief to the community. However, Bester's story was far from over, as he continued to plot and scheme even from within the prison walls. Even prison would not be enough to contain his audacious schemes, hinting at more drama to come. In the confines of a maximum security prison, Thabo Bester's criminal mind continued to operate. He orchestrated a brazen scam from his prison cell, proving that even incarceration could not extinguish his cunning. In 2018, Bester, operating under the alias Tom Motsipe, established a company called 21st Century Media. Bester, portraying himself as a successful businessman and claiming to be related to South African mining magnate Patrice Motsepe, managed to deceive numerous individuals and companies. He used his charm and fabricated tales of influence to secure investments and partnerships. The pinnacle of Bester's elaborate scheme was the announcement of a lavish Women in Media conference. This high-profile event, falsely advertised to feature Hollywood A-listers like Halle Berry and Taraji P. Henson, was nothing more than a ruse. The 21st Century Media scam eventually unraveled when celebrities denied any involvement with the event. Journalists and investigators began to dig deeper, exposing Bester's true identity and his elaborate web of lies. In May 2022, news broke that sent shockwaves through South Africa. Thabo Bester, the notorious Facebook rapist and convicted murderer, had escaped from prison. The circumstances surrounding his escape were as audacious as his previous crimes. Bester had faked his own death in a fire in his cell at the Mangaung Correctional Center. A charred body was found in the cell, initially identified as Bester. However, it was later revealed that the body was not his. Bester's escape was a meticulously planned operation. It involved inside help and exposed a network of corruption within the prison system. Investigations revealed that Bester had access to cell phones, laptops, and the internet while incarcerated. He used these tools to communicate with accomplices on the outside. This allowed him to orchestrate his escape plan and maintain his criminal activities. Bester's escape highlighted the vulnerabilities within South Africa's correctional system. It raised serious questions about security protocols and the integrity of prison officials. Section 6. Life on the Run. Thabo Bester's post-escape activities. Following his audacious escape, Thabo Bester seemingly disappeared into thin air. However, evidence suggests that the master conman was far from retired. Instead, he continued his life of deceit, operating under various aliases and engaging in fraudulent activities. Bester's post-escape activities were shrouded in secrecy. Evidence suggests that he continued running businesses and engaging in scams. He was believed to be living a lavish lifestyle with his partner, Dr. Nendifa Magudumana. Bester's ability to evade capture for months after his escape was a testament to his cunning and resourcefulness. He was a master of disguise and manipulation. He was able to blend into the background and move undetected. Section 7. Victims and public outrage. The impact of Bester's crimes. Thabo Bester's crimes, particularly his escape from prison, sent shockwaves through South Africa. His actions left a trail of trauma and devastation in their wake. His victims, many of whom had already endured horrific ordeals, were left reeling by the news of his escape. The public was outraged. They demanded answers from authorities and accountability for the failings that led to Bester's escape. The incident eroded public trust in the justice system. It highlighted the urgent need for reform within the correctional system. He is a professional con man, highly manipulative. You can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth without verifying it first, said Dr. Gerard Labuschagne, a forensic profiler who had interviewed Bester. His words underscored the danger that Bester posed to society. Section 8. The ongoing investigation, unraveling the web of deceit. The South African authorities launched a full-scale investigation into Thabo Bester's escape. The investigation aimed to uncover the extent of the corruption that facilitated his escape and bring those responsible to justice. The investigation involved multiple law enforcement agencies. It quickly became apparent that Bester's escape was not the work of a lone wolf. It was a sophisticated operation that involved the cooperation of individuals both inside and outside the prison walls. As the investigation progressed, several prison officials were arrested and charged with aiding and abetting Bester's escape. The investigation extended beyond the prison walls. Authorities were also looking into Bester's post-escape activities. They were determined to track him down and bring him back to justice. Section 9, A Nation on Edge, The Hunt for Thabo Bester and the Future. As of 2025, the hunt for Thabo Bester continues. He remains a fugitive from justice. His escape has left South Africa on edge. People are questioning how such a dangerous criminal could have slipped through the cracks. The Bester case has exposed deep-rooted flaws within South Africa's justice system. It has highlighted the urgent need for reform and accountability. The case has also sparked a national conversation about the safety of women and the responsibility of social media platforms in preventing online abuse. Let's express our deepest gratitude to Justice Edwin Cameron for exposing the corruption-enabled Thabo Bester prison break, said former public protector Thuli Madonsela. Her words reflected the sentiment of many South Africans who were demanding justice and accountability. The hunt for Thabo Bester is far from over. Until he is apprehended, a cloud of uncertainty will continue to hang over South Africa.